All right, there we go. I reside in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. And I do want to let everyone know, first and foremost, that I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. However, I do show people how to use common sense. And if they're coachable and teachable, they could potentially change their zip code in a short period of time. Always remember past performance is never indicative of future performance as well. And you may want to contact a financial advisor as well. So, with that being said, I want to give a very special welcome to our first time viewers. You all are definitely in for a special treat. Make sure you're in an area where you won't be distracted. I also want to let you know that my purpose for this evening, for this brief conversation that we're going to have, is to give you enough information that'll allow you to make an educated decision to assume an equity position, not next week, not next month, tonight, okay? Even if you're reviewing this later. But with that being said, as I said, I want to give a very special welcome to our first time visitors. And I want to also let you know if you've never heard or seen a full overview on Mediterra, Bellator, and Miracle Cash and more, then I want you to do me a big favor. I want you to take your ego right now. If it's in your glasses, take them off and set them to the side, right? But if you need those physical glasses, put them back on. Just leave the ego over there to the side. Then I want you to put your business caps on because what you're about to witness, the only thing that will block or allow you not to see it is your ego. I want to be straight up about that, okay? So, as I said, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be brief, but you're going to be blown away. I can definitely share that with you up front. So, with that being said, a little bit about myself. I've been in the home-based business industry for well over 35 years. I'm a tad older than I look. I've had tremendous success. I've been able to manifest all of my dreams and my goals. I want you to think about that. So it's one thing to hit your goals, hit your targets, hit the things that you put on your dream board and whiteboard, right? It's a whole nother thing. Well, I already said the word dream in there, but it's a whole nother thing that also be able to manifest your dreams. And I've been able to do that through the industry that I'm about to share with you. But I have to be frank with you all. I'm no different. I'm no different than anyone else within the sound of my voice. Did everything my mom told me to do, just as I'm sure you did as well. She told me I better go to school so I can get a good education, so I can get a good job and get up out of her house, right? Well, I did all that, and I have to tell you the truth. I was totally disgusted, to be honest with you. I was unhappy. The reasons being you may be able to relate to. Number one, I wasn't satisfied with the quality time that I had to spend with my family. I had a young family at the time. I was a lot younger, obviously, and it seemed like I was getting up at dark 30 in the morning, getting home at dark 30 at night, driving, seeing red lights in front of me and white lights in my rearview mirror, and giving the best part of my day to a company, helping them hit their goals and manifest their dreams, but they had no concern of what my personal family dreams were. Anybody relate to that? I'm sure somebody can. The other reason why I was totally unhappy is because I wasn't satisfied with the income that I was making. When I was in college, I would, sleep with a pen and pad by the side of my bed. I had all these ideas, concepts, and insights that would just flow to me in the middle of the night. After 5 years of being in corporate America, those dreams were dead and gone, right? They were done. And the fact of the matter is we looked good on the outside. Myself and my spouse at the time had the car, the house, and all that. But on every payday, we'd be behind closed doors, fussing like cats and dogs, because we were always trying to figure out how to make ends meet, but it seemed like they were burning at both ends, right? And always, every month it seemed like we'd have more month left at the end of our money. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, right? So luckily, I was blessed to be able to run into an individual who at the time was making more in a month than I was making all year. It's a true story. And that individual told me, Derek, he said, I'm going to show you how to work smart and not just hard. Introduced me to this industry that allowed me to manifest all my dreams and goals, guys. But what I have to tell you is the financial freedom is phenomenal. But I found something out. This industry will also give you the time freedom And time freedom is just as important as financial freedom because you'll have that time freedom to enjoy those finances on those who matter most. And that's obviously your loved ones. So, with that being said, I'm going to start off this evening with a question. That question is, are you earning cryptocurrency daily? Now, whether you're a seasoned professional trader in the crypto space, whether you're a person that acquires crypto from a speculative perspective, buying it, hoping that it's going to increase, right? Or if you've never heard of cryptocurrency or the blockchain before, what I want you to understand is that I don't get into politics, but the fact of the matter is, our current president has made a statement that he's going to make America the crypto capital of the world. So, what that means is you want to get ahead of the wave. Whether you recognize it or not, we're not on the way to a digital society. We're actually in a digital society right now. So if you ride the wave from the very beginning, you will literally be able to cascade it to manifest your dreams and goals instead of getting hit by the wave and being late like we were with most things, right? So I want to make this clear. I don't and we don't trade crypto, and I don't buy crypto from a speculative perspective. As I said earlier, two things. If you've never, well, I may not have said this yet, but if you've never heard a Mediterra, Bellator, or Miracle Cash and More presentation or overview in full, then what you're about to hear, you've never heard before. You've never heard it before. And that's why I say leave your ego to the side. Now, while I don't knock trading or purchasing crypto to speculate, I want you to understand this clip that I'm about to show you. And I told you I have a few short clips to share that are going to drive the point home. So pay close attention. And they're all super short. But you remember when crypto first started? Well, we used to acquire these machines, right? They were called mining machines. They were big, they were cumbersome, they were expensive, but they would also run your electricity bill sky high. I had several months where my utility bill was higher than the crypto that the machine had mined. Are you kidding me? Well, we've come to a new era, even in the crypto space, where you don't have to do all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, you can acquire a technology or software that will allow you to acquire what I call a digital vending machine that you never have to restock. So I don't want to spill the beans too much, but I want you to pay attention to this clip. While this gentleman is not affiliated with us, he eloquently explains what our technology does. Let's get started. Turn your speakers up and pay close attention.
Did make millions of dollars in crypto, but I don't trade crypto and I don't buy crypto. I make it. So I started making Bitcoin at $220. That in itself is crazy. So we started mining Bitcoin. We were making a lot of money. We were like, man, if Bitcoin ever gets to $10,000, we're going to be rich. This guy that was mentoring me, he was worth $100 million. I became one of his top guys. And at that time, I didn't know anybody worth that kind of money. It just sounds preposterous to the average person. For the next 7 years, I learned software instead of hardware mining. So when you mine Bitcoin, you have a physical piece of machine. You plug it into the network. It confirms transactions. You make Bitcoin. On the platform that we launched, which was a company called Gala Games, we worked at Snoop, the death row chain that Snoop gave me. Kind of crazy. And instead of hardware, we had software. So these software nodes will confirm transactions on the blockchain. Every time you buy something on that blockchain, sell something, move some money back and forth, there's a fee. That fee goes up in the cloud and it's split evenly between the node owners. So that very first blockchain that we launched, I only put 15,000 in. And for 2.5 years, those nodes just confirmed transactions. I had about 17 million tokens in my wallet. I watched it go from less than a penny to 5 cents, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 84 cents in a matter of like 5 months. So I went from $11,000 in software nodes to having over 11.4 million liquid currency.
From 11,000 in software nodes to 11.4 million in liquid currency in 5 months with a game. You heard him say Gala Games. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking about a software company in the fintech space, not a game, that has a real world application. And you see what this gentleman did. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I almost forgot something. I have to do this. Let me know what city you're chiming in from through the chat. I want to give you a quick shout out. I'd like to get an idea of the scope that we're touching this evening as we're broadcasting live. If you would, very quickly, just type in the city and state that you're chiming in from or just your city. And I'm going to give you all a quick shout out, and I want to make sure my chat is live. All right, South Carolina, Florida, San Diego, California. Welcome, welcome. All right, who else we got? Ennis, Texas. Welcome. Omaha. Welcome to the presentation. Chino Valley, Arizona, Illinois, Virginia, Nashville, Victoria, Texas, Virginia again, ATL. I was going to say, when is ATL coming in? And Barbados, Minneapolis. Welcome, welcome. Las Vegas, Philadelphia. Any international people tonight? Any international people going once? Going twice? We had people from all over the world on our call earlier. All right, Chicago, I see you. Well, thank you so much, and you can keep chiming in, guys. I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to do that. But I want you to think about that. And he explained so eloquently how a node works. And I'm going to do the same as well as we briefly go through this information. But I got another question for you very quickly. First of all, what if you could participate in the largest industry on the planet, bar none? And what if you could generate a passive income stream that will outlive your grandchildren? You see, our kids are going to automatically be fine because they're right in our immediate sphere, right? But we're actually supposed to be laying up in store, having income that will outlive our grandchildren, our unborn or born grandchildren. And I'm not a scholar in this area, but I know there's a great book out there that says a good man or woman leaves an inheritance for their children's children. But most of us can't do that. You know why? Because we're trading hours for dollars. We allowed a company to tell us our worth per hour or a year. I'm worth $200,000 a year. Are you kidding me? You have unlimited wealth. You have unlimited access to wealth as well. But we just have to find the right venue. Also, what if you could purchase this particular product one time and get paid for it for life? What would you do? Would you take action or would you procrastinate? Like most of us did when we heard about Bitcoin for the first time, Tesla, Amazon. And I know y'all didn't catch it in the beginning because I didn't either. I'm right there with you. Right? I wouldn't be here right now had I caught either one of those platforms, especially from the beginning, because I heard about it, but I didn't take action. I procrastinated. It's so funny. Nobody recognizes a diamond when it's in the dirt, but everybody comes running to it once it's been what? Cut, chipped, grinded down, and now it's shiny. Everybody can see it and run to it. But what you're going to have to understand, if you truly want to build wealth, you're going to have eyes to see and ears to hear when a unicorn comes back around again. And can you see that diamond while it's in the dirt? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. So again, I have the esteemed pleasure to introduce Metaterra, which is our parent company, Bellator, and Miracle Cash and more. Now, you won't be able to grasp Metaterra or Bellator until you get a full understanding of what Miracle Cash and more has accomplished and who they are and what they've already done. So this first short clip is going to give you key insight to why this is a true opportunity. And you're going to want to thank the person that invited you when we're done. Turn your speakers up, pay close attention again. Here we go.
Dear Bellator family, we wanted to share some key insights to help you better understand the true value of the opportunity you are part of, the foundation of Miracle Cash and more. Miracle Cash and more began its journey in 2017 with a clear vision to become a global fintech powerhouse, not just a traditional bank. Our starting point was the development of a core banking system, also known as a switch in the financial industry. This system consists of millions of lines of code. It took 3 years and over $5 million to develop. We built a mid-level core banking system from the ground up. Why is this significant? Because we own the technology. We are not leasing or dependent on third parties, which saves costs and provides flexibility. When you invest your time in a company, that company should deserve your time and effort by providing real sustainable value. What has the company invested to create an opportunity for you? Who is the actual customer? If it's just you, then it's not a real business. It's a cycle destined to fail. Most crypto MLMs have failed because they start with a compensation plan and then pick a product that fits. Their focus isn't on solving real-world problems, but on making quick money. That's not sustainable. Miracle Cash and More is not an MLM. It's a fintech company offering real services to merchants. Bellator is the marketing arm, designed to help expand Miracle's reach. This gives us the best of both worlds. A company with real products and services. A network marketing structure to help spread the word and reward those who grow the network.
Absolutely phenomenal. Listen, I love when he says, who is the real customer? If it's just you, then it's not a real business. I'm going to touch on that later. Remember that, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to now understand exactly who Miracle Cash and More is. As you just heard in the video, Miracle Cash and More is an 8-year-old rock solid company. Now, most companies in this space last 1.5 to 2 years. Grand opening, grand closing. We are already 8 years old, 100 plus employees, over 90 million already invested, fully licensed and insured, highly regulated globally, and we have physical brick and mortar stores around the world already. This is an image of our first location that opened in Amsterdam. You'll see the phone number and the address right there. But what I want to bring your attention to is this image of this brain where it says banking core, or switch. And what you'll notice in that brain, that banking core or that banking switch, that in our entire ecosystem is operated by and tethered to it. That's why over 90 million has already been spent, because we developed our own switch. Listen to me close. In addition to that, the only entity on the planet that has a banking core outside of Miracle Cash and More are the central banks. Are you kidding me? So already understand that we have a global presence already. Here's some screenshots of the front of some of our other brick and mortar locations. And then on the right side of this image, these are pictures of the inside of our stores around the world. Now, these physical locations are actually what you would call crypto exchange providers. You could actually go into these locations with any type of currency. Any type of payment, like a check, credit card, debit card, and you can purchase every cryptocurrency that's available in the market. But you could also do the reverse. You could go in with any type of cryptocurrency in the world and cash it out for fiat, whether it's that country's fiat or the US dollar as well. Absolutely phenomenal. So with that being said, you now need to get a clear understanding on why we built our own switch with no third-party investors. Why we have the competitive edge. I like to say, actually, we have no competition, because if anyone even tried to do what we've already accomplished, it would take them 8 to 10 years to get to our starting point. So understand, this is why I also said in the very beginning, if you've never seen a full overview before, then you've never seen this. Because I want you to understand, especially for those of you who may have experience in the industry, so to speak. Well, this is not a trading platform. I don't knock trading. I don't knock copy and paste trading, but that's not what this is about. This isn't a platform where you're going to put $1,000 in something and then turn around and have, 1% a day allocated to you. It's compounding. In 90 days, you're going to be a millionaire. No, in 90 days, the platform isn't going to be there. That's what's going to happen. Ask me how I know. We could have a sidebar conversation on that. And that's why I told you to leave your ego to the side, okay? I get inboxes from people just because their bot just happens to still be running currently. They want to, chat with me after the meeting. No, there's no need to discuss that, but I digress. So in any event, my point is I want you to understand this in any of that. So again, this clip is going to show you why we built our own switch and why we have the full competitive edge. Here we go.
We built our own switch, no third-party licensing required. Handles crypto transactions directly with customizable merchant admin panels. Offers higher APRs than traditional banks, making us the crypto bank for merchants. Secure and efficient transaction management. Continuous updates to benefit both customers and merchants. These companies represent over 100 million active accounts, and our technology is installed in all of these machines. This is a huge victory and a clear sign that we are leading the way in the industry. This is why it takes time to be the best. Building something of this magnitude isn't easy. It requires patience, dedication, and relentless hard work. But the results speak for themselves.
All right, another awesome video. Now, I usually pause it at a certain point, and it's where the words were flashing pretty quick, right? As a matter of fact, I got to show you this. I got to show you this, guys. And I know exactly about where it is. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to pause it right there. I told you, I know where it is. I'm better than a DJ from back in the 90s, right? So I want you to read this with me because, like I said, these words were flashing pretty fast. It says a huge victory because of who we are and what we offer. We're trying to recruit people to help us secure. No, it doesn't say that. We're not looking for salespeople. It says because of who we are and what we offer, we have secured 4 contracts with 4 of the largest POS device companies in the world. If you don't know what a POS device is, when you tap, swipe, or insert your card when you're getting your groceries or buying your gas, and then you have to put your PIN number in, that's a point of sales device, POS device. The 4 largest companies in the world that are the POS device companies are Ingenico, Pax, Verifone, and NCR. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've already secured the 4 largest POS device companies in the world, and it represents over 100 million merchant devices globally. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make you chuckle. The next time you're using your debit or credit card or even tapping your phone to do Apple Pay, I want you to pay attention to the POS device. Look at the top of it and read it. It is going to say Ingenico 8 out of 10 times. If it doesn't say Ingenico, guess what it's going to say? Pax, Verifone, and NCR. And you're going to chuckle to yourself. That little fat guy was telling the truth, right? So I like to be about it. I don't like to talk about it. This is Ingenico's website. Y'all see how my energy is coming up now? Because when you're dealing with facts, when you have a real company with a real product, with a real world solution, there is no fluff and puff. There is no hype. You don't have to do any of that when what you have is real. We don't have to worry about a rug pull. We don't have to worry about running out of money. We're 8 years old with over 90 million already invested, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you got that business / common sense hat on, okay? Now, this is Ingenico's website, a multi-billion-dollar company. This is our website. You see it in 120 countries, but they have 40 million terminals deployed worldwide. As a matter of fact, I'll do you one better. We're already on their website. This is Ingenico's website. Go to the Partner Solution tab, and you'll see Miracle Pay already on their website, slated as the go-to company to allow those 40 million terminals to receive cryptocurrency as a form of payment. So the aha moment, listen to me closely, is the fact that we have a technology, number one, that allow businesses to receive cryptocurrency as a form of payment. Number two, we have a software that you and I now have access to, right? That when people are doing what they're going to do anyway, which is pay for their gas, which is pay for their Starbucks coffee, which is pay for their rent or their mortgage, you and I get paid because the software, the node, validates transactions. So it's almost like you're getting a digital toll booth that every single move that has to be made in the crypto space has to come through the toll booth and break it off, being your node for life. That's the aha moment for tonight, okay? So understand, I'm going to take it one further, but before I do, you have to see, you have to understand what we're talking about has nothing to do with the market going up and down, has nothing to do with learning how to trade or copy and paste or read charts or press buttons or buy crypto and pray that it goes up. Are you kidding me? Been there, done that. Now we're using, remember the first video I showed you where the gentleman talked about the Bitcoin mining machines, but now there's new technology. You just purchase a node and it's like you acquired a digital vending machine that you never have to go restock, that pays you and your family for life. As a matter of fact, Ingenico sent one of their new terminals to our CEO. What I want you to make note of is where we're located in the software for their POS devices. And as our CEO says, take a look at this.
Hey everyone, take a look at this. We just got a few of these machines shipped to us. It's the new Ingenico machine. And then when we turned it on, look at that. Look at that. How amazing is that? We're literally preloaded, not in the App Store, but actually on the device itself. You hit that, there you go. Isn't that incredible? Wow.
Wow is right. So now I want you to understand that I'm about to tune in to your favorite radio station. Yep, I know what your favorite radio station is. It's WIFM. Derek, all this sounds great, but what's in it for me? Okay, so I'm about to show you why it matters to you right now and what it actually took for Miracle Cash and More to accomplish this feat of creating the only switch outside of the central banks. Pay close attention because then we're going to get into what's in it for you. It's going to show you now in the video, but I'm going to break the numbers down right after this. Here we go.
Many people don't have the experience to evaluate real opportunities. That's why we're committed to educating you while also sharing the potential of our company. We're not just another crypto project. We are a real company with real customers delivering real services. This document is for you, to help you recognize the difference between a fleeting opportunity and something that is truly deserving of your time and effort. We're proud to say we're just getting started. With our infrastructure in place, we're ready to scale globally. In the world of transactional finance, a switch, also known as a core banking system, is the central infrastructure that manages and routes financial transactions between different entities such as banks, payment processors, merchants, and card networks. When a customer swipes their card, taps their phone, or makes an online payment, the transaction request is generated and sent to the switch. The switch acts as the middleman. It receives the transaction data and routes it to the correct financial institution, e.g. the customer's bank, for authorization. Once the issuing bank processes the request, either approving or declining the transaction, the switch relays the response back to the point of sale, POS, terminal, or online platform almost instantly. After authorization, the switch helps settle the transaction, ensuring the funds are correctly transferred from the customer's bank to the merchant's account. The switch ensures transactions are secure, encrypted, and compliant with financial regulations like PCI DSS for card payments and KYC AML protocols for anti-fraud measures.
So what I want you to understand is that whenever you tap, swipe, or insert your card on a point of sales device, what happens is there's a signal that's sent to the switch. The switch then relays it to your bank to confirm that it's you and that you have the funds in your account. A signal is relayed back to the switch, and the switch then sends a signal back to the POS device and approves the transaction, and you walk off with your groceries. Happens in a millisecond, right? You tap your card, boop, and bing, it's done. That's why it costs so much to create a switch. But what most people don't understand is on the back end, there's a lot going on. While your bill with taxes included was $20 for your groceries, there were other fees being paid. The business where you tap, swiped, or inserted your card has to pay a fee for every single transaction outside of cash. All right, every single transaction to the card company that you use. This is why Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, and all the others are huge, huge companies that don't have to do that much advertising, because you don't have to teach anybody, to do what they're going to do anyway. You don't have to teach anybody, like I just said, to pay their bill at the restaurant. You don't have to teach anybody to pay for their hotel. You don't have to teach anybody to pay for their Dunkin' Donuts. People are going to continue to do it. They're doing it as I'm speaking to you now, and they're going to do it long after every one of us are gone, right? So while most of these companies charge 3, 4, up to 5% plus a 10-cent transaction fee for every single transaction, Miracle Cash and More doesn't do that. But what you need to understand is we're on the right side of money. See, it doesn't matter what happens with the market. Listen to me closely. And I'm going to give you an example that some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Here recently, there was a company, pardon me, this is what happens when you eat dinner right before you do a presentation, so don't do that. But there was a company here with the background of the CEO was stellar. It was a young lady, and she started a company, and everybody was going to it. Well, at that point, this is very recently, at that point, I was done with allowing a bot to control my wealth. And I saw how, for some reason, it just doesn't seem to really work in this industry. It just doesn't seem to work. So I was done with it. A lot of associates, business partners running over there. I know people who put 100,000 in, 200,000 and more. I know people who put 1,000 in, and we don't know what it took for them to come up with that 1,000. So I don't judge 1,000 or 200,000. It's the same to me, because it was taken out of somebody's household, their blood, sweat, and tears. Well, in any event, the market dipped a little bit. The crypto market. That's what markets do. They go what? Up and down. It's like a heart monitor. And you're playing a game trying to read charts and trying to figure out, when to buy, when to sell. And it's very, very risky. All investments are a risk, but it's super risky. And I know some people who are successful as well. But the market took a dip. Didn't have any, not the company, the market took a dip, and every single person lost 40% of their accounts overnight. Then the company said, we have to hold up on withdrawals. Well, they were trying to get it together. A few days after, maybe it took a week or two, they were gone, shut down. How many times are we going to continue to take our friends and family members out of the frying pan and lead them right into the fire? When are we going to stop the madness and lock into a real company? Whether it's this one or another one, long as it's a real company with a real product that has a real world value. You know why I stress that so much? Because too many times there are companies that pop up and the only value that's offered is within their ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something that the world needs and is running to. And you're going to see that in a moment as well. So now that we have somewhat of an understanding of what Miracle Cash and More is, an 8-year-old rock solid real company with real products with a real world value, right? Now let's get an understanding on what Bellator is. Bellator is the marketing arm that gives global access to the products of Miracle Cash and More. So while Bellator is a big baby in diapers, we just turned a year old last month. As you can see, the company launched December 24th. However, what you need to understand is the only access to get the products that Miracle Cash and More offers is you have to come through Bellator. Now, do you have to build? Do you have to talk to him? You don't have to talk to a soul. As a matter of fact, the majority of our note owners are just that. It made sense to them, even if they were in another venue, even if they were building another business, they understood that it was their fiduciary responsibility to show their people how to not only make money, but to sustain it and then advance it. Whether you got weight loss shakes or a tea company, it doesn't matter. It made sense to them to grab a node, tell their team members to do the same. Because again, you're purchasing this technology one time, but it's paying you for life. In addition to that, Bellator is a ground floor opportunity based on what I just said, them being a year old. But I like to say it's not a ground floor opportunity. It's down in the basement. As a matter of fact, it's below the basement. It's down in the substrata. We haven't even gotten up to the basement yet. And if you're a true marketer, you understand the best time to grab a unicorn. Remember, we missed Bitcoin at the beginning. We missed Tesla and Amazon. Do you know the best time to invest in Tesla was, outside of when they started, is when that man was blowing up them rocket ships. Do you remember he was sending rocket ships to space and they was going up about 10 feet and crashing back down? That was the best time to invest in Tesla because the stock dropped like crazy. And people who were smart gobbled it up because he still had cars on the road. You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear and understand. In business, timing is everything. Okay? So we're a new marketing arm connected to a rock solid 8-year-old company. Now, attrition, the fact that there's no attrition, I need you to listen to this closely. I had a conversation. I was fortunate to have a conversation with the CEO today with another huge marketer that just came aboard. And he actually stated the statistic, our CEO, Mr. Michael III. He said there's a statistic in the home-based business arena. And he said 95%. Those of you that know, I always say it's over 90%. Still high as heck. And the statistic states that over 90% of the people that get involved in this industry fail from a financial perspective. Now, there are many reasons for that. Companies that already planned on being a rug pull from the beginning, unscrupulous owners, and experienced owners. You had people who were successful in the field who thought they could now run a company. Just because you make the best apple pie in the neighborhood, sweetie, don't mean you're supposed to start an apple pie company. I'm going to leave that at that, right? So the fact is, that's the statistic. Well, when I saw that Bellator had turned that global statistic that's been in place since I've been in this industry over 35 years upside down, meaning that 100% of the people, 100% of the time that get involved with Bellator and acquire a node will succeed. Are you kidding me? When I realized that, I put my church shoes in the closet and laced my Adidas up, and I haven't stopped running since in the last few months, right? Then understand also there's times where you guys know a big leader can leave a company, right? And it causes a vacuum or a vortex. People's checks start going down. I've seen a company crash because the top leader left and took the majority of the people with him. Are you kidding me? But what you need to understand, no attrition with Bellator applies to that as well. You can have 2 people on your team or 20,000, and all 20,000 of them can leave, and it won't affect your income 1 red cent because there's no human intervention. We don't get paid from people. We don't get paid from recruiting. We get paid from nodes. Are you kidding me? That's going to hit some of y'all about 1 in the morning. You're going to sit up in the bed and say, did that fat joker say there is no attrition? Yes. So you could build one last time and know that you're building it for life and building it for your loved ones. This is why we have a home for all wounded warriors. My business partner and myself used to talk, well, we talk about this. We've been talking about this for years. We didn't even want to be known as network marketers because the industry was getting such a bad name from bad players. The industry itself is perfect. It's the best self-improvement course that you can take in the world while you're making money. And it's the only avenue that will allow an average person, regardless of your criminal history, regardless of your race, religion, or ethnicity, doesn't matter what your background is. If you're coachable and teachable, you can go from 0 to hero in this space with the right company with the proper leadership at the right time. And I'm telling you right now, the sun, moon, and stars have just lined up with Mediterra, Bellator, and Miracle Cash and more. So understand that you're purchasing this product one time and it pays you for life. So let's get into the nitty gritty now, all right? What we're talking about is our CPU node. It validates transactions on the network. I just told you it's like getting a digital toll booth. And no transactions can happen without them being validated, guys. The blockchain is the biggest and the best invention in the world of our lifetime. As a matter of fact, I used to always say, I'll know when they really want to make sure our voting system is ethical and honest, when they just put it on a blockchain. Why do we have to go stand in line for hours when they could allow you to vote right over your phone? Boop, put it on a blockchain. You know why? Because the blockchain is immutable. The blockchain is fully transparent and you can't cheat the blockchain. I'm going to leave that at that. But think about that. Why are people still standing in lines for hours? Whatever county you're in, whatever jurisdiction, you could just get on the blockchain, pull up your the city government thing. They should have an app, and bam, you vote for whoever you want to vote for and be done. Think about that. So again, we get paid. I keep digressing, but we get paid in our Phoenic tokens. That's our native token. That's our gas for our entire ecosystem. Then we have our utility token, which is our Mirix token. Okay, so your funds are deposited daily. As a matter of fact, I was trying to say they and deposit daily at the same time. Day. It's deposited daily. It's actually deposited hourly or every second because people doing transactions when all around the clock. And there's a wealthy individual that said, until you learn how to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. I want you to think about that. Until you learn how to make or position yourself to where you're making money in your sleep, you're going to work until you die. And y'all know who said that, hopefully. So the cost for a node is only $1,200 one time. So let's get into the breakdown of this. There's an 80-20 split from the purchase of a CPU node, right? So I'm going to show you the type of income that can be earned from one node. And I'm going to break it down to the ridiculous. So you'll be pleasantly surprised when you start getting paid from your node. Now, remember I showed you earlier, we have over 100 million merchants globally under contract, right? Y'all remember that? Well, I can tell some of y'all from the show me state. Let me do a little proving here. So you remember I showed you we already have, I'm sorry, that's Mediterra, that's our corporate site. NCR under contract, right? Well, this is NCR's website. And it jumped. Let me see if I can find, let it load up. So this isn't our website. This is NCR's website. NCR, okay, that's not it. I'm looking for the statistics. And looks like my site jumped a little bit. Let's see if this is it. I'm not going to take all day trying to find it. I think when I turn my computer off. That's not what I'm looking for either. Now I gotta find it. Because y'all gonna be like, he didn't know what he was talking about. Let's see, it won't take me long to find it. Let's see, services. How about your song net resources? Now it's driving me crazy. My computer shut off earlier. Customer story, resources. I don't think that's it either. Okay, well, what it was going to show you is some of the, let's see, and this is such a detailed website too. And that's Murphy's Law. When you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. So I don't know why it feels like it's under solutions. Let's see. As soon as I get done, I'm going to go back to the site and it's going to be sitting there in my face. All right, but I already told you we're contracted with it. Let's go to PAX because I'm not going to be scrolling all day here. So this is PAX's website. This isn't ours. Well, look at this. Here we go. I could just show PAX and be done. PAX has how many devices globally? 110 million. Just PAX. And I showed you in Jericho had 40 million. So my point's already made, but let's take a peek at Verifone. Do any of these venues look familiar? If you've been to BP to get some gas, taking your kids to McDonald's, right? You've been to Starbucks lately? Well, what I want to bring your attention to on PAX's website is they process 8 trillion with a T, 8 trillion payments are processed each year. So I think we can agree that we can say we have over 100 million, right? So the funny thing about that is in that 100 million number of merchants globally that we have under contract, I'm not even going to include the fact that we already have the 5th largest airport in the world already contracted. I'm not going to include that in 100 million. I'm not going to include the fact that we already have Shopify already contracted. Not what? Wait, Mr. Brown, y'all got online lockdown as well? Yeah, Mr. Brown, we got online lockdown too. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to include the fact that we already have contracted the largest airport in the world being built in Bucharest, along with a smart city being built around it. And we're slated as the only cryptocurrency provider for the entire airport and the entire smart city. And on top of that, not only are we the crypto provider, but we're going to tokenize it as well. A $2.5 billion project. Not going to include that in this equation, all right? Then I'm going to make it even worse. I'm going to break it down even more. I'm going to say only 10% of the 100 million will offer cryptocurrency as a form of payment in this example. That means we'd have 10 million merchants. This is simple math. Roll with me, all right? So in addition to that, out of those 10 million merchants, they're doing 2 crypto transactions a day at $100 average sale. That's ridiculously low in the amount of sales. 2 sales a day, average sale is $100. That's 2 billion in merchant sales that day. Just that day. So do you see why our CEO is a genius? Because he's on the right side of money, which is the transactions. Because again, you don't have to teach anybody to do what they're already doing. So let's finish breaking this down. Miracle Pay only charges 2%, flat 2% as a transaction fee. So now that's 40 million in revenue that day. And let me make something super clear. Whenever you hear, when you see in just a moment, I'm about to show you who we're aligned with, and you hear anything from corporate, you're going to have to understand that they have to be, when you see who we're aligned with, super conservative. The individuals that I'm going to introduce you to live by under promise and over deliver, right? So remember, I'm breaking this down to the ridiculous. That's 40 million in revenue a day based on these numbers, right? Now, you and I, let's see what we're going to eat off that 40 million. We'll understand that there's 30% paid out to you and I being node owners, right? And then that's 12 million a day. 12 million a day. There's an 80-20 split. 80% goes to you and I being node holders, and 20% goes to the downline. So that means if you're sharing with other people, you're actually double dipping. Keep that in mind, right? There are only 210,000 CPU nodes available. Each one is paid the exact same amount. So even if you acquired your node today, I've had mine for several months before you. I told you what Bellator has done, and Miracle Cashmore has leveled the playing field. There are no more games being played, right? There are no fees to sign up in Bellator. There's no monthly auto ship, right? There's none of those games being played here. Every single node is being paid evenly. So that comes out to $45.71 a day. Well, if we add that up yearly, that's $16,685 a year, okay? The reason why we're doing a presentation on a Friday night and every night following is because there is a time-sensitive situation at hand that you need to understand. And I'm going to show it to you plainly right now. This is why the person that invited you had the energy they had when they were telling you to jump on this particular presentation. So this is the Bellator site. So when you sign up, you're going to receive this world-class level website absolutely free with a back office to run your business in the whole nine. So what I want to bring your attention to is the fact that we have these founder specials. You see these purple squares over here? I just told you a CPU node was how much? $1,200, right? For one. Well, I showed you, okay, so $1,200 for one, but you're buying one here, but it says +2, meaning they're giving you 2 more nodes free. Yes, this is the founder special that ends in 2 days. Well, technically 1 day, but like a day and a half because it's going to end Sunday morning at 5:59 a.m. Just the founders special, okay? So right now, but to that point, you purchase one CPU node, they got the nerve to give you 2 free. Remember, I just showed you how you can make 16,000 in that ridiculously low example, $16,685 a year, right? 16,685. But let's multiply that by 3 because they give you 2 nodes free. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, that you may want to get a node ASAP because that's 50 grand in this ridiculously low example yearly, residually, annually. And now we do know that it's going to increase year after year because of mass adoption, but we're not done. Over here to the right of that, you'll see the CPU 3 pack. Well, each node is $1,200, so if you buy 3, it's $3,600, right? But because of this founder special that's about to end, they're going to give you 6 more nodes on top of those 3 free. Are you kidding me? 16,685 times what, guys? 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. Let's see how much that is. That's 150,000 and change. Some of y'all are getting up at dark 30 in the morning and get back home at dark 30 at night. You're not making 150,000. And I just showed you how you could do that just by having common business sense enough to acquire the 3-pack. Did I say anything about recruiting anybody? Did I say anything about attending a meeting? No, just having the wherewithal, the business acumen to understand, and timing is everything in business, and the fact you need to acquire a node. Well, it gets gooder and gooder. That's right, you heard what I said. We have a 7-pack. Each node is $1,200. If you get 7 of them, that's $8,400, right? But in this 7-pack, they're going to give you 14 more nodes for free. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, let's do the math. Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. Well, you bought 7, but they gave you 14 more free. That's 21 nodes. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in the top 1% of income earners on the planet, number 1. You're probably one of the wealthiest people in your family, and you didn't talk to a soul. You just had the business acumen to acquire the 7-pack nodes. But I got another surprise for you. I'm going to show you this quick clip. I want you to pay close attention. Then I'm going to break it down because this is also ending at 5:59 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay? Pay close attention. Now, that doesn't mean we won't have any nodes. It just means this holiday special that I'm about to show you, along with the founder special, is going to be over. You'll be able to buy 1 node, but you definitely ain't getting 2 more free. Are y'all with me? You'll be able to buy 3 nodes, but you're definitely not getting 6 more free. Oh, you'll be able to buy 7 nodes, but you definitely ain't getting 14 more free. And this Christmas special, which is even more powerful than everything I just said, will no longer be available as well. But you'll have the opportunity to acquire nodes. It's not like everything's ending. Because somebody said, what are you going to do after the 10th? Are you kidding me? When you see who's aligned with this platform, you're going to understand this platform is going to outlive the majority of the people who are within the sound of my voice right now. And I said that boldly. You're going to understand in a moment. Here we go. Pay attention to the breakdown of the numbers and what's being made available in this super short clip.
Bellator is here, the biggest digital gift of the year. Bellator is here, the biggest digital gift of the year. Half Italy, Guardian, Miracle CPU, 4,000 Murex plus 402. Drop a 6 grid, keep the dream alive. 2,500, come catch the vibe.
Bellator Life. To your legacy.
Man, I love that voice. I wish I could buy a box and just put it under my shirt and say, listen, you all need to take a look at Bellator. But in any event, let me break down the holiday specials for you guys that are ending at the same time that the Founders packages are, right? Well, we have the Bellator Life Christmas box. Let me explain what it includes first. What it includes. I said exclude. It includes a half convertible Italy node. The reason why the word convertible is in there, pardon me, is the convertible Italy nodes are the only avenue that all of us have to acquire shares. And what that means is you can convert the majority of the nodes within the Italy convertible node into shares, and now you own part of the entire ecosystem. Are you kidding me? And you have up until October of this year to even decide. Some of you may want to say, hey, I'm going to leave it as is because the nodes within the Italy convertible node are paying me enough where I'm fully satisfied. Or if you're anything like me, I want those shares, right? So it's a half Italy convertible node. Now, what I want you to understand is that node by itself costs $2,500. Then you get one CPU node, which is what we explained initially, right? In the Founders Pack. Well, you're not going to get the plus two. This is just going to be one of the CPU nodes. Then they have the audacity to include a Guardian node. A Guardian node consists of 4,000 Mirage tokens. And when you have 4,000 Mirage tokens, it's paid as a node on its own. And you're getting that node in that packet. Then they have the nerve to include 400 more Mirage tokens. This is a $6,540 value. That's what we paid for it separately. And you're getting it for $2,500. This is why they're going like that. But then we have the big Bellator Life Christmas box, which includes everything I just spoke on. But in addition, what it has is you're getting, instead of 400 Mirage tokens, you're getting 500 of them. And then they got the nerve to include an entire additional node called the Phoenix code node. And let me let you know this, the Phoenix code node by itself, right now, today, let me show you, because I know some of y'all from the show me state, a Phoenix code node costs how much, ladies and gentlemen? You see it on your screen right now. One Phoenix code node is $5,000. One Phoenix code node is $5,000. You're getting everything, all the nodes I just mentioned, plus a Phoenix code node, plus 500 Mirage tokens for $5,000. Are you kidding me? Remember, in business, timing is everything, okay? So what I want to do now very quickly is introduce you to our fearless CEO. He has his own website, hakanturan.com. You can see it right there and how it's spelled. This is Mr. Turan, and this is also him in his office. It's going to flash, and this is a real person. Several of us have met him. Several of us have been out to North Cyprus where the corporate office is, and he's also been here in the States as well. But what I love about his website is you can also learn about our entire ecosystem. So I want to introduce you to him through our corporate website, which is Metaterra. Now, I told you we have a corporate office, 3-story building, right, with 100 plus employees in North Cyprus. But then our corporate office, Metaterra, is located in the heart of the financial district in New York City at 45 Rockefeller Plaza, right where the big Christmas tree is, right? And we were just up there about 3 weeks ago. So very quickly, this is literally a few seconds. I want to introduce you to our fearless CEO. Then I'm going to blow your mind by allowing you to meet our board members. Here we go.
Hi there. Today I'm happy to announce the establishment of Metaterra. We have finally consolidated all our projects, all our businesses under the Metaterra umbrella. We have signed a concrete agreement with Wall Street Capital Partners. Together, we are bringing this to the second level. Our vision has finally been executed. We are ready.
Absolutely phenomenal. So what I want to bring your attention to is the leadership tab, right? Here you'll see our fearless CEO, Mr. Hakan Toran. You can click this arrow, read all about him. Of course, I'm not going to read all that right now. You can see our legal team, finance team. What I want to bring your attention to is our board of directors. The chairman of our board, ladies and gentlemen, is a Wall Street veteran that owns a company called Wall Street Capital on Wall Street. Okay. He has $25 million in underwriting authority. That means if you have a business idea or something for him and his firm, he can stroke a check for 10, 15, 20 million right there on the spot. But he has hundreds of millions that have been raised in private equity. Phenomenal, stellar background. But what Mr. Anderson did is he bought the Super Friends. He put the Super Friends together and brought them with him as our board members. We have Mr. Stephen Moore. He's a globally recognized economist, author, and senior economic advisor to political campaigns. Well, the last political campaign that he advised was our current administration. As a matter of fact, Mr. Moore found a discrepancy in the GDP, the gross domestic product. You know, those numbers are reported to the president. Well, he found a discrepancy in it. The White House summons him to the Capitol, right? The president was about to do a ceremony, a Purple Heart ceremony. He said, hold on, we need to get this information first. We got this on video. It was on TV. And he had Mr. Moore come up, break down the numbers, correct the imperfections in the GDP numbers. Now, I don't know if this happened before or after that event, but the president offered Mr. Moore to be an opportunity to be chairman of the Federal Reserve. Mr. Moore respectfully declined, said he wanted to remain in the private sector, right? You can respect that. But what I need you to understand is he said no to the president of the United States and said yes to Mr. Anderson to be on Mediterra's board. That's called a hint, hint, clue, clue. Then we have Fernando Vitisola. Mr. Vitisola is the Vitisola family owns Kenworth Trucking, and they actually put it on the market. I think it goes under PAX or something like that now. $60 billion valuation. There are multiple multi-billionaires through Kenworth Trucking. He's also a senator in Mexico, and he's an expert in what's called cross-border trade and blockchain application on our board. Then we have John Baer. John Baer has 30 years of global experience. These are Mediterra's board members, y'all. 30 years of global experience with 500 plus million raised and contracts in 41 countries. Well, John Baer is also the reason why Google is able to operate their undergirding system is able to operate because of John Baer. Netflix is able to stream without being hacked because of John Baer. You and I have cell phones because of John Baer, not Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a phenomenal marketer. We have these cell phones because of John Baer. He's a board member. Stephen Norris, senior executive, strategic advisor with extensive experience in corporate governance and business development. Let me tell you who Mr. Norris is. First of all, he ran the Marriott. That's number one. Number two, he's a co-founder of the Carlyle Group. Do you have any idea who the Carlyle Group is? That's a $600 billion fund. He's an advisor to the King of Saudi Arabia, and his accolades go on and on. Board member. Monica Profit. Monica Profit is basically at the forefront of the digital economy. This is how bad Monica Profit is. She wrote a book on the blockchain called Blockchain 101. Board member. Then we have our newest board member. We have an entirely different video on this gentleman that you have to. I may give you a sneak peek. But founder and president of the Gerson Group, Russ Gerson, prominent executive search and strategic advisory firm focused on financial services. And as I said, you can read all his details here. These guys are off the chain. You can see here deep sector experience in investment banking, capital markets, asset management, and alternative investments. Got hedge funds, major Wall Street financial institutions, hedge funds, private equity firm. Guys, These are our board members. Now, I don't want somebody to make the mistake. Remember, we got our common sense hat on. We're getting ready to wrap up in a second, but you got to. I'm going to introduce you to Doug Anderson. Do not make the mistake of telling a person that invited you, you know what? I think I need to do a little more due diligence. I need to do some more research. And then you plan on going to Google and YouTube after I just showed you the corporate website page with these Wall Street mammoths. You don't think that Doug Anderson and the rest of the super friends have a few more resources than you and I to vet out a company and to vet out our CEO and any and everybody connected to this ecosystem? Are you kidding me? So I don't want anybody to have, I say this respectfully, a stupid attack. Okay? I would rather you tell that person no. I'm going to say it up front. I would just rather you flat out say no instead of playing games. The games are over. There's no time to play anymore, right? How can you be broke and still be playing the same games? I just showed you this isn't some bot investment platform. We ain't doing no copy, paste, and trading. Not knocking that stuff. That's not what this is about. This is a real company, with real technology and products for the real world. Okay? So now I want to introduce you very quickly, and we're going to wrap up. You got to see this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce you to Mr. Doug Anderson, CEO of Wall Street Capital Partners on Wall Street, and he's the chairman of our board. He was on a show called New to the Street, comes on TV, comes on your TV, New to the Street. And he's actually sitting on the New York Stock Exchange floor being interviewed, speaking on our company, Bellator. Turn your speakers up, and then I'm going to wrap this up and let you go ahead and get signed up.
And a warm welcome today to the Wall Street Capital segment of New to the Street. I'm Janet Alvarez, your host here from the iconic New York Stock Exchange. We're joined today by a very special guest, Doug Anderson, CEO of Wall Street Capital Management. Doug, how are you today?
Great to be here. Thank you.
Doug, you know, there's so much history here at the New York Stock Exchange, and I feel like people like yourself are rooted in the traditional exchanges, in the traditional world of finance. How did you decide to make the leap to crypto?
So it wasn't hard. I mean, we are looking at the numbers, and as recent as like 7 years ago, I think we're looking at 3 billion transactions in that space. Today, we're looking upwards of 70 billion. Wow. So the growth is phenomenal, and it's something that can't be ignored. And people on this floor here are not ignoring it. They're looking at it very closely. And so we're following it, and we're looking for special companies that are cutting edge, that have something that we think is going to be catch fire, let's say, and grow exponentially. And when something grows exponentially, of course, investors can profit from that multiple.
Absolutely. So for our audience that isn't yet familiar with Miracle, tell us about a Miracle. What is it? Where is it founded?
So the holding company for Miracle is Metaterra, and Miracle is one of their software assets. Metaterra is a company that we're working with, and we're interested in listing that on the stock exchange. It'll be a holding company for various software assets that they've developed. The first one being Miracle Pay. So you've noticed when you go to a store or a restaurant or what have you, these PAX or Ingenico machines, they're handheld by the server or at the point of purchase, and you wave your card over it or your Apple Pay, and the system reads it and the transaction happens instantly. What's different in this case is it enables a crypto wallet to do the same thing, and it's been approved by those companies, Ingenico and PAX, and those two companies represent the largest number of machines out there. So that's maybe 40 million machines across Europe, for example. And so that is a big deal to us. And when we saw that, we realized, hey, we better jump on this thing right away and do what we can to catch the train and not be standing at the station.
All right. You want to make sure you catch that train and don't get left standing at the station. So, ladies and gentlemen, 3 simple things to do to get started. Number 1, you need to contact the person that shared the opportunity with you, get their link and enroll. It didn't say anything about the $4.99 or $9.99 startup fee. There's no fee to get started. Second thing you need to do is once you get enrolled, now you log into your own back office and you purchase at the very least 1 node. You can get whatever you want, but at the very least, get 1 node because you're going to get 2 more free. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you share this opportunity with and enroll at least 3 people. Reason being is because if those individuals that you personally invite acquire a node, you're going to be paid $225 in a direct sales bonus for each sale. Now, that's if they get 1 node. If they get the 3-pack, multiply that by 3. If they get the 7-pack, multiply that by 7. Are you kidding me? We have some people that pay for their node before they even pay for their node, if that makes sense. Remember, Bellator has leveled the playing fields. No restrictions, no requirements, all right? So with that being said, I want you guys to understand something. I'm going to close with a story today. So I grew up in New York City as a kid, and I'm literally closing now. There was a friend of mine, and I was invited to his home. And when I walked in, I stepped through these double doors and was in a foyer, black and white, marble checkered floor. And so when you came to my house, where I grew up, I grew up in a beautiful area called Chelsea. As a matter of fact, it's the most desirable neighborhood to live in New York City right now. But I was still in the projects in Chelsea, right? You came to my house, you were just in the house. You open the door, you're in the house. You have no doggone foyer, all right? So this guy lived in a brownstone, and they had the whole brownstone and this beautiful foyer, little hallway to the left, hallway to the right, hallway to the right had these pictures. And I said, well, who are these guys? And they were pictures going down the hall. The first one was of his father. And then it was his father, his father's father, all the way back to an image that looked like it had been drawn with a piece of coal. It was so old. That was the only side profile. And it was a guy with a pointy nose, hooked chin, the whole 9. So me being inquisitive as I was, as a New York City, kid, I'm like, who's this old guy at the end? He said, Derek, that's my great, 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 great grandfather. He's the reason why we live the lifestyle we live today. He didn't say it that eloquently. We were kids, but I got the message. He's the reason why we live the way we live today. And I thought about that. And I said, how many of us know the name of our great, 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 great grandfather? You know why we don't know who he is? Because he didn't leave us nothing. Had he left us something, you would have his picture over the fireplace or in your hallway, right? And you would have been able to point to that individual and say, he or she is the reason why we live this lifestyle today. And his answer was because he made a decision to get into the steel business back in the 1800s or whatever it was. So one decision changed an entire lineage. And I thought about that. I said, I want to be the one that's continually spoken about, that's still living through my great, 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 great grandkids. I'm on their fireplace along with my spouse, with them saying, no, that's Derek Brown. He's the reason why we live this lifestyle, because he made a decision to get in the fintech space at its infancy and caught a unicorn. And this is the result. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, at this point, we have 3 types of people. Number 3 person says, Derek, sounds great, but it's not for me. If you're a number 3 person, I'm going to say this for the person that invited you. Right now, we're not looking for everybody. We're not. We're looking for people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. People who have eyes to see and ears to hear when a unicorn has come into their presence. Number three person, if it's not for you, you need to still thank the person that invited you, because they thought enough of you to share an opportunity with you that could have potentially changed the trajectory of your family's finances for life. And number three person, at the very least, let them know who you may know. And I'm very serious. Let them know who you may know that's interested. Okay. Number two person has questions. Number two person, you want to get in where you fit in. I just told you there's no cost to get started. Get the link and review all the information. Go to Mediterra.com. Go to contoron.com. Now your questions are more pointed, and you'll also be brought into a private channel where you have access to all the leadership. Who this presentation was for on this beautiful Friday night is the number one person who said, Mr. Brown, you could have shut up 45 minutes ago when you told me I could acquire a digital vending machine, pay for it one time, and get paid for life. Well, I'm in. Well, to that number one person, I want to be the first to congratulate you and taking the first steps in securing your financial future. And we look forward to working with you as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, get back with the person that invited you. Don't get a headache. Don't let your hypertension kick in. Don't have a heart attack about making a simple business decision. You're either in or out. It's that simple. Let the person know that invited you, whether you're a 3, 2, or 1, and we'll respond accordingly. All right? With that, make note that we'll be doing this again tomorrow evening. It'll be my business partner, Mr. Meadows. That's a different link that you can get from the person that invited you as well. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Get everybody you know in front of this gentleman. He is going to break this thing down to the 10th degree. And I'm telling you, he opens up for questions, so you'll have an opportunity to ask your questions right on the spot as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you guys start enjoying your weekend. We will see you tomorrow evening, and we're going to close this out. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to unmute. Let's see here. Bop, bop. And we're going to close out with Bellator Billionaires. Hey, that's the new team name, by the way. I decided that just today. We are Bellator Billionaires. So you can actually unmute yourselves right now. And we're going to close out. Unmute yourself right now. Let's close out.
Bellator
Sounding
Billionaires.
Bellator
Bellator
billionaire. Yes.
Billionaires.
Bellator
Bellator
billionaire.
Bellator
Billionaires.
billionaire.
I love
Bellator
it.
billionaire.
Bellator
Bellator
Billionaires.
billionaire.
Bellator billionaires.
Say less.
All
All
right,
right.
Bellator Billionaires.
All right, Doc.
Yes,
I hear
Lord.
you.
Bellator
All
billionaire.
right,
Bellator
Bellator Billionaires.
billionaire.
We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. God bless.
Got a question.